Alright, what's going on YouTube? It's your buddy Will from the What's Up in the Sky 37 channel, online at www.whatsupinthesky.com. All sorts of good stuff going on there. Let your eyes adjust to this one. I didn't think my last video could get more in your face with Mars anomalies, proving that life once existed on it, especially where the Curiosity rover is. It's at the bottom of Mount Sharp, slowly making its way towards it, and possibly up it. And we are looking at from the Molly cam, which is a lot better than the mass cam. I don't get as much fuzz from these pictures. In your face anomalies. Stick with me. This is going to be a long one. If you don't watch many of my videos, you know, we can go long on these. So grab a cup of coffee, hit pause, go get your coffee, go get your drink. Take care of yourself. Come on back and let's take a look at this picture. As always, I'm going to show you, I've done minimal enhancements to this image. All I've done is hit auto contrast, and I didn't even really mess with the sharpness or anything too much on it. Here's how it comes directly from NASA, you can see, and they left it in. All the color that you see pulls out is in the image. Let me show you exactly where I got it from. Here's the link up here, but don't worry about it if you don't watch my videos often or you've never seen one. Just check down the description below or go to the website whatsupinthesky.com and you can see all sorts of stuff. Now, when you get this picture from NASA, this the rover arm, it's hanging off the end of the rover arm, this actual piece, the camera. And wait till you see some of these anomalies up close and what we're looking with. Starting with some of these right here. Look at some of these. These are two little pillars or something that come up right next to each other. It almost looks like glass or some sort of translucent coloring to it. Let me see it in black and white. I've also made it black and white, and also a little bit more of the red tint to it. Even when you take it and see here from NASA how it came, pretty amazing. And what we do is we go through these one by one, and that's what we're going to do tonight. Let me show you where we got it from. Here, like I said, here it is again. It's a totally legit picture. It did come from NASA. What I've done is basically brought it into here. I've spun it so we can look at it, you know, how it should be. And we got all sorts of stuff from what's coming down the hill right up here to almost every piece in there. We're looking at Uncle Jake's junkyard, as my buddy Terry from France would say. Um, it just looks like scrap. Something destroyed Mars and in the process left us some beautiful relics. Now, on the ride up to where we currently are, we found some amazing pieces, but never concentrated like this. If you haven't watched my last video, like proof of life on Mars, finally, something like that, this one's just as good. The anomalies here just as good. I recommend you download the picture. Check out the website. I always leave enhanced images on there. And let's get at it. Let's dig into this thing. We haven't done this in a while. I haven't been making as many videos lately. My life's been pretty busy. It gets like that at the end of summer here. Um, but let's take a look at this first one starting off here, just because I brought it up at the beginning. See how the pieces come out here? I want you to look at the piece behind it. It almost like like it's been shaped kind of like a horseshoe type feel to it. And where it comes to this little abrupt ending there, here it looks about the same size, almost like that could have been connected to there, or if it wasn't, whatever it was designed, you know, and came off of that piece. But I love to hear what you guys think that is. You can see it really well when you back it up a little bit. And as you get closer, we always, like I said, we always lose a little bit of the resolution. But let's keep going through. If that didn't, and we're going to keep going, we're going to go up to the other parts, and we're going to hit all these because there's all sorts in here need to be looked at. And I'm going to go back to that other picture at some point as well. What I think we're looking at are stones that were here from stones, maybe even petrified wood. I think maybe like when Mars lost a lot of its atmosphere, there was possibly a war, nuclear explosion, whatever happened. Um, it destroyed stuff and threw stuff everywhere. So it kind of looks like, you know, Puma Punku did when we finally got down there and took a look at it, and stuff was just kind of thrown about. A lot of the stones were used other places. Obviously, the stones have been left here sitting on Mars. This is just on the surface. What's made it through all the I mean, all the dust storms and everything that can shape it. And I've seen what wind and rain can do to things. Like I said, last video I talked about where I live in the United States, I traveled the United States, been all over. I've seen some amazing things that nature could do. But when I see this, I see relics. I see like human nature, like intelligence, not necessarily human. Who knows whoever designed these ruins or what it looked like to begin with, what they actually look like. But let's get on in here and take a look at some of these things. I thought this one was cool. You got a big line down the center. It looks like it's halved off. Like this half is almost as equal to that half. Then we get a little bit of symmetry in it. Um, and it just happens to be laying there. The back of it looks like almost any stone you'd find here on Earth. Now, if I asked you at the end of this video, or even now, if I was off at some, if you haven't seen me, and say you were one of my good friends and haven't seen me in, months, 10 months I've been gone, and I came back and I said, I found these ruins. They're out in the middle of the desert or the middle of the jungle, and I came into this desert area, and here this stuff was. Help me take a look at it and see what you think this is. Look at the straight lines in here with the 90-degree angles, almost like whatever's buried with it right here has that in it. Um, I think that I'm not saying I'm not telling you what to think, but I think the majority of you would probably agree with me that this stuff looks like an archaeologist. Archaeologist needs to see it, not a geologist. A geologist can take a look at this too. I've got no big no bones about it. But look at some of this stuff. Look at the shaping in it that don't seem to be cracked. There's a lot of this stuff seems to be actually designed. Who knows what it actually looked like or where it was on, but check and when I mean that, look at the shapes here. This looks like a flat iron. You ever seen an iron you iron your clothes with? Here you've got a shield shape here. If you cut it right down the middle, it looks like it does the symmetry. You could fold it in half on each other. Um, and this is just going to go on and on and on like this. There's just so much in here, and I'm going to try not to make you sick and go through it pretty slow. Um, Even down to where these stones seem to be shaped here, just the ones that are popping up out of the ground still that we don't get a good look at. They seem to have a lot of shape to them. Some of them have cracks on them that seem to be fresh. Maybe the devastation wasn't all that long ago. I don't think that the Martian civilization was as big as the humans here. I think they'd be more like the smaller races, maybe like the dwarfism. People have dwarfism, stuff like that. I think about that size maybe. That's just my assumption of the planet smaller. It's just I don't think that would just end from just looking at the ruins for so long. That's my assumption of it. Check out over here where there's a little bit of a blur mark here, so it's hard to see the top of like the middle of this, but you can see there's circles, 1, 2, 3, 4 in there at the top. Um, just look inlaid into it as we come up here. And I really want to take a look at this piece right here. And I know it gets blurry. If you got to step back a little bit and take a look at it, go ahead. This actually looks like maybe an effigy or something. This kind of looks like a head. And I'm not one to do many, like I said, if you guys watch my videos, I'm not one to point out, you know, stuff that looks like it could be a person or it could be a living thing. I've really gone away from that. This looks like a statue or something that's that seems to be. Um, Actually have things out in front of it like it's part of just naturally part of it. Check out, it's got some intricacies. Let me put the black and white version of it on. I mean, that's you could even see it there. That's with nothing. That's just directly from NASA. I mean, they left these in really well. I want you to look here up at these patterns. Look at the circles in this here. um, was this rock, or was some of this even metal? I believe it was metal. Probably most of this stuff would have oxidized and been gone by now, but who knows? As we keep on moving through this picture, we find more and more amazing things. Okay, this piece right here, this looks like it was a piece of some irrigation or something that was just dropped off, or maybe a corner part or something. But you can see the divot in it. It follows a path, and it seems to be cracked right here. Like I said, everything seems, whatever force destroyed it, it looks like after they did nuclear testing here in the United States and some other countries, after in Japan after the war, um, a lot of the images that came back look like some of this stuff. Check this out, a perfect oval that's beveled. It's got a bevel on it. See around it right here? You can't see it on the other end because it's out of our focus, out of our sight, but um, it certainly does look to have that pointy oval shape, almost like a surfboard would here. I keep going back to this one right here, and that one boggles my mind. I hope you guys check that out and leave me what you think that is, because even over here too. Check this one out. This seems to have a line that comes across and comes up. All right, let's keep going on through here. It's so funny when I'm getting ready to make these videos, like I don't want to miss that, I don't want to miss this, but there's so much here that you can miss as you're going through it. And a little bit of this picture might overlap the one from last from a different angle, some of the stuff. So you're looking really getting a good look at finally some real hardcore in your face, not just here and there, a big, intelligence. I can only say intelligence designed this stuff. At one point, here we go. Not wind, not rain, not water. Water, they might have helped it. All that might have helped it get to the current situation it's in now and the ruin, the state it's in right now. But originally, I do believe this place was gorgeous, just from the architecture, especially, I can see how much work got put into making some of these objects, especially some of the stuff that's really ornate. Well, let's take a look at this thing piece right here. It kind of looks like it's got a little, just a little almost half basket look to it. As we move on up, okay. Let's try to adjust to this a little bit. This one's, I hope you guys always have if you're watching my videos, always make sure they're in HD down there and watch them full screen. If you can, watch them on a TV if you've got access to watch it. Some of these things look amazing when you blow them up and step back. Uh, this piece out here was kind of fascinating to me as well. It seems to have, whatever it is, this piece seems to be cracked pretty well. It's almost like a bell look to it. And it opens up into a V shape, and in it looks kind of interesting. And it looks like this piece here has a nice little bevel on it. I noticed that along with here. Check these out right here. This looks like a some sort of tube, long and round, almost like the end of a baseball bat or something along those lines. And I see what I see, you see what you see. When I do this, I'm always trying to equate stuff that we see on Earth. That's all I can. That's all I can relate to. I've never been to Mars other than these pictures, and hopefully these are actually on Mars. We don't even know 100%. I do believe the rover's on Mars. I get a lot of people that don't come and they comment on the channels, and they give arguments and valid. I just have my beliefs, and that's, I'm not, if you give me something that absolutely proves that the rovers are somewhere else, I'll certainly look into it. But as for now, there's enough visual evidence from above to tell that the rovers have been there, unless it's one heck of a put on. I think that NASA spends their time more or less obfuscating a lot of pictures, and this last batch, especially the Molly cams, don't seem to get tinkered with a lot. It's usually the mass cam that seems to take that on. Um, Out here, you just kind of have see what's really interesting too. See how you've got all this rubble here, and then when you go up onto here, there's just one little piece out there, and then up on the hill, there's just some interesting, this was wind-blown sand as it comes up. Very interesting color to it. Let's see. As we move along, I'm hoping your guys are adjusted. A lot of times it's hard to see how. So there is a lot of checkerboardness to this side of it right here, and even when you add, well, you know what, the black and white kind of helps take that out because a lot of it's done, I think, through the Bayer filter, the filters and the camera filters that are on these. Um, well, we never actually get to see what we would see on Mars. We get to see what the filter they use, and then there's a lot of us who try and white balance it or whatever. That's what NASA calls it when they do it, to actually bring it on in. But stuff all over this. More, here we go, more right here. Another shield looking piece that you could just cut right down the center of it. There's a huge circle in the center, and off to the side you can see, hopefully you guys can see that. Um, all the symmetry in one area. That's where I start saying, okay, what are the odds? I mean, honestly, what are the odds of this being like this? And I do believe that if you, like I said, if I brought this back, some pictures, say I walked around this rubble, took some up close pictures, and then came in, told you, hey, I was out in Zanzibar's land and took these pictures, and I think that we've got an ancient ruin out there. I want to go back. What do you think about it? And I think we took this to an archaeologist. I think they'd say, wow, there's some pretty interesting stuff out there. Even right here, where you really can't see, this is in another picture on the mass cam I've seen. In that image, it almost looks like a little sand castle, it's kind of turned that way, but it looks to be um, broken off. That looks to me more like metal than anything I've seen. Not the color, but just how it's kind of broken off and shattered there. It's most likely just rock or like the surrounding. I think we're looking at a civilization like we used to have here on Earth. They built in stone. They built to last. Um, and whatever happened, they got nailed by something, and it took them out pretty good. And here's what Uncle Jake's Junkyard's what left. Okay, this piece right here, I think I didn't go over that as much as I wanted to in the beginning here. It looks like it's got a ring around it. This is one of the strangest pieces I've seen. Um, Let me see if I can actually just take this piece, take it down to here, and just see if I can, what happens if I hit some of these autos. No, not much on that. I used to do a lot. If you watch my old videos, I used to do this right on camera so much. Now I try and get a lot of that stuff ready for us. It looks like this is like I said, it looks like a carved head that comes down, and then there's a ring around it that's been carved, and then more ornate pieces out in front of it. That's what I'm seeing there, and it just looks to be kind of toggled in to just sitting in here with all these other pieces. Look at this, more symmetry here. You've got a circle here, another circle there, and then when it comes around, it looks like it's beveled. Like now, it also looks like there's another half of that missing, or actually, that looks like a third or fourth of it. So there's a whole another part of it missing. But you think you can do it in your own eyes. You can see it. Here is the smoothed out part right here. This I found really interesting as well, because you've got something coming down off of it. And it's really smooth from the stuff that's around it. It either had a really clean break, or it was, it was smooth. It was smoothed out by either Photoshop or something along those lines. But and for that to be right next to these pieces, like right here, this to me was my most fascinating. Just this coming up like that, it almost looks like it comes up and connects over. Let me see if I switch it to black and white. See, when I say switch over, see it comes up and it comes down, and see how it kind of follows the same path? It's got a dip in it. Both do. Then you've got this little piece on this side and this little piece here, and then just whatever's right in front of it looks like a perfect, you know, a 4x4 or 6x6 here. Here, something that is cut out. Almost like I said, it looks to be freeze dried or petrified, and now it just looks like everything else, just into the Martian stone. Beautiful stuff. Let me take a sip of my drink here. Hopefully that wasn't too loud for you. Yeah, I miss making videos, guys, especially when I'm away, as I've had so much to do with work lately. We've had servers go down, just all sorts. I'm an IT director for a behavioral health company. We have offices up down the East Coast. That's what I do. This is a hobby of mine, so really I can only do it at night when I get a chance. Um, this to me is interesting too. It almost looks like somebody worked this and it was something you would have held. Who knows what it was? Maybe it held writing on it, held something on it. Information maybe. Look, you've got circles in it, like little spheres, colorful spheres that come out on top of it. The rock up here above it seems to have cuts, and it seems to be sheared off right here at the top. See how it's just been sheared right off? But look how it's spaced, 1, 2, 3, and seem to have about the same spacing between it. Something else that was ornate, uh, and just sitting there. That's pretty cool. That looks like a little alien gray head right there, if I've ever seen one. Now this is hard to tell if this is well, look at this piece down here. And what's neat is you really get to see some of the circles and some of the actual markings and stuff on this, like stuff that you just wouldn't imagine nature would do. Like if you look at, like I said, you look at this piece right here, it comes off, comes down. There's this one line that runs through here, and it seems to follow some stuff, and it ends up right here. It almost looks like a little baby skull. Now, why? What? Like I said, a lot of times I think, why couldn't the Martians have been this big? Why couldn't they have been that the size of, my leg, or something along those lines? What's stopping it? From that may just be the case. That life may evolve there just like that. Maybe that's how what was perfect for it. We've seen little beings on Earth. Dr. Stephen Greer, I don't think that anything's ever came back to DNA fully could explain it, but we've seen birth defects where humans stay very small. So it wouldn't surprise me if a lot of what we're seeing, this is only meters, yards off of the rover. So who knows how big these Martians were? The smaller, the more we really have to look at the images, because the smaller they are, um, the more, especially with a 2 megapixel camera up there, is what they claim from NASA is on these things. You're going to get such small little pieces, such hand carved. Imagine if the hands were real tiny that made these things. And who knows? They could have been tiny, could have been huge, could have been an array like we find here on Earth. We find skeletons that are what, 15 feet. There's pictures out there, not the ones I'm talking about, like the internet hoax ones. I'm talking about the ones that were actually in the magazines, in the newspapers in the 1900s, in the late 1800s. Check this out. This one over here also just kind of intrigues me because it looks like it belongs with this piece right here. This one's a little bit more rounded off though. This one kind of has a curvature to it. And the more, especially like I said, the more when I get close to something, I zoom in and take a better look at it. I feel like we're definitely looking at a culture that was smaller than, if we stood up next to them, they'd be much smaller. What we got right there? That's a very interesting thing. I don't know what that's sticking up out of there. Let me flip to black and white. Hmm. Look at the inside of this. Looks really ornate for what I can tell. And then in here, it kind of looks carved out, just carved out, carved out. This piece almost looks like it was used for something, like any farmers, anybody out there who's dealt with maybe look, see, it almost looks functional. Up here, you've got a higher piece to it. It comes around, and this comes maybe the liquid or something would have drained through there. Who knows? All speculation here at my channel when it comes to these things. When we're looking at pictures, it's all my speculation. So if you don't agree with me, that's your prerogative. Honestly, I see what I see, you see what you see. I don't expect you to agree with me. I've lived a different life than you. You've lived a different life than me. You've seen different things that I haven't seen, and I've seen most likely things that you haven't seen. So once again, here's another piece that's just laying around, and it's got symmetry to it. If you cut it in the middle, you could just, like a pizza, just looks like a piece of pizza, just fold it right on top of each other. Um, and what I think ended up happening here is part of whatever happened, there was a lot of water that drug this stuff around at the bottom of the mountain. And here's where you're seeing stuff from all over Mount Sharp, which a lot of people think may have been a military base at one time for the Martians. So you would expect to find interesting anomalies, to say the least, especially at the bottom of the mountain where stuff would collect, where your tides would come. They already think that they've already proven that there's been water there. And we've proved that there's water seeping up from the ground right now. If you just type in water on Mars on my channel and search my channel for it, or what's up in the sky 37 water on Mars, you're going to find an awful lot of information and pictures that pretty much look to prove it. Once again, you've got more symmetry here. Cut this one right down the center there, you got it. And then here, whatever this is, this piece right here, has a back to it that's straight. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces that come down skinny and then open up into a ball there. I'm going to bring it up a little. See, here's the ball. It's like a skinny drop down. Who knows what this stuff was, or what it could have been for, but I don't even know what to make the thumbnail on this one. All I know is from this one and the last one, If you're not convinced yet, I don't know what's going to convince you. That it's going to take a lot of convincing for you. A lot of people are really stuck in their ways, though. Um, a lot of us were brainwashed to our school, especially I think to somewhere like Mars. That's why I like doing the idea of going out to people with. I think I might do this. I'm going to print out some of my best anomalies, go out in public, and film people, and just say, hey. Uh, what do you think of this? Would you explore it? Would you spend money to help explore it? All right, now this rock here again, we looked at this earlier where we got the symmetry all over it. Here's another piece that looks to be symmetrical. It's buried, half buried in whatever. It almost looks like a horn of some sort. Um, but look how there seems to be these really colorful lines that almost look like like beads, beaded lines. Here you got it, one comes across, comes down, and it comes over. Let me hit the black and white real fast. Sometimes when the color um, messes with our eyes, I think sometimes. So you don't get a full view of what you can because you start processing it. Here, one, two, three holes just on the top of this piece. One, two, three, equally spaced out. I've got so many emails and so many check this one, check that out. I've fallen so behind and I can't wait to get some of these out. There's such good stuff, but this is one that I saw today. I actually had this up to make a video for the last 3 days. I just haven't had time to make it. So I'm glad I finally got it out there because I know what happens is you guys rock. You'll check it out, you'll download it, you'll comment below, say I see this, this, and that, and then you'll take it and hopefully come over to the website and post what you've done with it, or come over to the What's Up in the Sky group Facebook page. There's a group and a Facebook page you can hit like. You can find them both on the website or in the description below. Um, we didn't even get talk about that piece up there, but there was this thing right here. Where was I? Just wanted to say, I must say, if anything looked like a little guy standing up here, right here. If anything looked like a little Martian or something that was freeze dried in place, standing up, looking out at us, this would look like it. It almost looks like it's in something, almost like a little. It's got its hands up like this. Looks like Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone. Why not? Maybe that's where he was laid to rest. Maybe this is where whatever happened, it was freeze dried, and that was it right there. Uh, the atmosphere took everything, froze it up, and over time, this stuff could be actually recent too. Who knows how long ago this devastation was? Um, some of the areas we still find stuff that's when it comes down to not having the dust on it and stuff, it's much more cleaner than this stuff. Now let's take a look at this one right here because this is one that caught my eye at first too. It's got all sorts of patterns in it. Um, who know, it could even be technology. We don't know what Martian tech looks like. All we do is I'm just trying to equate this stuff I know on Earth. The technology they could have had could be leaps years way ahead of us, leaps and bounds. Who knows? The people think that just here on Earth that we've lost a whole civilization that was able to do amazing things that could cut those huge obelisks that are not even finished yet. Who could have moved these massive things? And we don't have cranes, manpower. We couldn't do it today, but we expect all these amazing feats that were done, and on hard labor in the past. And who knows if that's the case or not, or maybe people in the past knew how. Maybe the stories of Atlantis were real. Maybe they did have sound technology that could levitate things. Everything has a frequency in this world, if you know what I mean there. I'm a musician too, so I've really paid attention to frequencies and notes, scale. Now check that right there. Once again, you've got another like cable almost looking thing coming out of it. More symmetrical looking pieces, like if you cut this one straight down the middle, you have two slivers. Here, this one was pretty cut. I mean, look how perfectly that's cut. If you look at it, it's about the same width the whole way across. It follows the same arc, but it looks like it belongs somewhere else. Maybe it belonged with this piece right here. Maybe it belonged with something over here. Who knows? That's the fun part about this. Being armchair archaeology here. That's what we're doing. Let me make this one pretty big one more time. I'm gonna let you guys explore this one yourself. It's strange how this one comes up here too. Like, see how it comes up and it's got a very thin but rounded off piece. Like I said, almost like something here, maybe water drainage, stuff like that. A lot of the blocks, and a lot of the old, stone cultures we had here had irrigation through stone, um, piping through stone, water moved through stone. It's amazing what was accomplished here just on Earth. Follow these here. It looks like you've got very similar pieces. It's cool stuff here. So, all right, what did I miss, guys? What's up in the sky 37? Check out the website. Come join us at the forum. A lot of people are doing it. I'm going to make a video here soon showing everybody like how to utilize the website the best. Um, a lot of stuff on there. Like I said, there's a lot of places, if you want to just kind of relax and kill some time, go check that website out. You can sit there for days and kill time. Some people do. Like I said, a lot of the people, it's gotten so many hits lately. It's amazing how many people are coming. At any given time, there's anywhere from like 80 to 200 or 300 people just browsing all day long, just checking out the information, checking out the enhanced pictures. Like I said, I'm going to enhance a lot of these little pieces here. I stick them down there so you can see them. I also leave a whole picture. This whole picture will be like this, downloadable on my page, so you can download that as well. And if you can, if you made it this far, I love you. You guys are the people that keep me doing this, my subscribers. Hopefully, if not, I've gained your subscription. If not, go check out my last video, and maybe after that one, I'll gain your subscription. So, a lot coming on. Winter's coming here, fall's coming. There won't be as much lawn to go, grass to mow, won't be as many chores outside. Won't take care of the pool. I'll be much more time to get turned into a winter hermit like I usually do and bust out videos for you guys. So, I'll be doing it until I can't do it anymore. That's my plan. So many anomalies I haven't even gone over, well-known ones. But if you get bored, or if it takes me another week to get some videos up, go check back out my back catalog. From my like Mars video number 1 to 200 are some of the best known anomalies and just amazing. All you gotta do is go to my channel and just flip the way it's uploaded. There's the list of them. Just put uploaded date, click on the uploaded date, it'll switch it to the old ones, and you can start checking out some of those. Some of you guys have been with me this whole time. So comments below. Much love to you. Make sure you check out the enhanced version on the website. Come check me out on Facebook. You got anything, send it. It's will@willfarrar.net, Farrar. Much love to you. Hope you're having a good one. How long did I go? It's been a while. 32 minutes. Boy, it's been a while since I did a 32-minute video. All right, guys. Much love. Peace.